once I cut ties with all of that, I was able to say, oh, what does Shelby like? What does Shelby want? And, you just, well, how can I say this? Everything around you is quiet. There's nothing distracting you from learning about yourself. So that's how it was. So I say that relationship was a distraction.
Okay. And I think I went through a phase like that as well. Because when I ended my last relationship, I knew I wasn't gonna marry that person, and I knew I didn't want to be with that person.
Okay, go
You
ahead.
done?
I'm done.
See, I was gonna beef you up, but see, nah, now I don't want to even say it now. See, I see you wrong. You wrong. Nah, but one thing that I knew was, and I'm just be straight, I didn't want a high body count because I knew that I wasn't. And I was 90% sure that I wasn't going to be with a person from my hometown. So I said, when I do meet someone, I don't want to have to bring them back to my hometown and people be looking at them crazy. That makes sense? So I guess I went on I refrained from relationships. I refrained from engaging with people. And it was several encounters that I turned down because I was like, no, I don't want that. So that was me preparing myself to find the right person. So I guess you gotta get into a space to be preparing yourself for when you meet somebody.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And I ain't never even think about it like that till now. If you know that you looking for something, you looking for somebody, I don't think that it's safe to just continue to do things the way you've been doing it. Like if you got a person that you hooking up with, don't keep hooking up with them people. You got to allow yourself time to process yourself to be prepared for that relationship.
Yeah.
Because I stopped. I was like, I ain't messing with nobody, ain't talking to nobody. I'm gonna just do me. And that's what I did. And as soon as I did that, opportunities did come, but I turned them down because I was like, in my mind, when I meet somebody, I don't want to have to bring them here and explain everything. So it's easier for me to just step back and say no and wait for this person. So that's the mind frame I was in.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Ain't no problem.
I don't want to have to be,
Look like no fool or anything like that. People smiling in your face because y'all women could be messy. Y'all women could be very, very.
I know.
Very messy.
Be around here hugging you, girl. You look so good.
Yeah. Well, anyway, the next part is they play on each other's strengths. The two-way street idea of marriage makes sense, but it doesn't always hold true. There are times where one partner has to give a little more than the other, or there are times when one or the other has to step up and handle more, from household chores to childcare to emotional support, such as in the wake of a loss of a loved one or an illness. Successful couples know that every situation isn't 50-50. In some situations, one partner can give more and expect less, as long as it isn't the same partner doing all the giving. That's okay as long as both partners are on the same page.
That's a tough one.
Why do you think that's so tough?
Because I feel like a lot of women carry a lot of this burden. And the men just be la 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 and not realizing what's going on. Some men are like that, some men are not. Some women are like that, some women are not.
This is one I don't think that we've conquered yet.
No. I think we getting better.
Yeah.
You don't think so? I think so, because child.
I can say this, though, and this is my thing. I think that women think that as soon as a woman sees something, she think, boom, I got to do this. It's a list. Boom, I got to do it. We don't process like that.
I know.
We were like, I'll get to it.
Yeah, I know.
Now, for me, I have noticed and I've identified that I'm delayed with stuff and I shouldn't be. You're judging me. Don't judge me, okay? I have to identify some things within myself. So don't judge me. And you can't rush a person to do a certain thing because maybe that person realized that they're dealing with something that was ingrained in them from childhood. You know, and that's what I've identified about myself. It's like this is something that was ingrained in me. This is something I have to break. So this is a cycle that I have to break because it's something that's being passed along.
Right. And I finally get that. So that's why I be dropping subliminals.
Yeah, but I think, in my opinion, that's wrong.
How?
I think it's I wouldn't say that. Yeah, it's wrong.
How? Because I thought I figured it out. I thought by me telling you ahead of time, it'll be in your head. It'll be in the back of your mind. And then you spend the time processing it. And then by the time you process it, it'll get done in the timely manner.
All right, I'm finna go to Orange is the New Black for a reference,
Oh,
okay?
Lord.
Now, this is a spoiler alert if anybody haven't seen the final season of Orange is the New Black. Now, there was a character on there, and I think they called her Doggett. She had a couple different names, but she was practicing for her GED, right? She was going through this test, and she was kind of slow. And her backstory was her dad was dyslexic. When she went into the test, the person found out that she was dyslexic. So in her mind, she went into this test thinking she was dumb. Now, as time progressed, she was studying for the GED. She was studying. She was going to take the test. And they had it worked out to where she could have more time because she had a learning disability. But when it came down to take the test, they didn't give her more time. She had the same amount of time as everybody else. And she struggled with that test. So the test results went in and she felt so bad about the test that she reverted back to what she knew, and that was drugs. And she actually killed herself. She overdosed. But at the end, she passed the test. So what I'm saying by that is if your mind is already thinking one way, you can't just break that thought pattern.
Okay.
So even if another person says, you're going to do good, or let me drop this subliminal, let me throw this hint at you, it don't necessarily mean that person is going to get it.
Okay.
That don't make sense what I'm saying?
It makes sense. I just thought I kind of figured it out how to not, because I used to get mad. So I thought that was a good way of trying to get you to know that something needs to be done, because I felt like you just did not want to do it. That's how I felt. So when I found out that you process stuff differently, I'm like, all right, I'm going to just go ahead and get this on in his thought process so he'll know that this needs to be done.
Right.
And I thought it was fair.
Yeah. But it's just like if you have something that you deal with and struggle with, if I think just because I don't deal with it, I'm going to look at it differently than you do. So I think that's one thing of knowing each other and playing on each other's strengths. Just like it said, because I don't process like you. And it's something that's deep rooted. So, and I realized this like last week. It's a lot of stuff that I process different, and I just realized this last week when I had time to think. Because sometimes when I'm going to work, I cut everything off and I process. I just think about myself, think about self-improvement. And that was one thing that I realized. Like, some stuff that I do, and the reason I do it is because it's deep-rooted. I don't have to keep holding on to the way I was raised or the way I was taught to do things. I can change it. But it's a process.
Yeah.
So all this whole time, when you've been saying you drop subliminals, it still didn't make sense to me because I didn't identify it.
Well, I didn't know because I didn't want to, because it in the past, it always created an argument. And I was just trying to find different ways to, because I'm thinking what you say is not what you say, is how you say it. So
Right.
I'm right here trying to figure out ways to not have an argument and to not feel like I'm rushing you and to not feel like I'm telling you what to do.
Right.
So that's how I was trying to approach you and be like, okay, let me just go ahead and get this on the ticket. So it'll be there. And then when you do come and talk about it, I'm like, ready. I'm like, all right, here we go. We're getting ready to talk about it. So that's what I was doing. I didn't mean any harm because
No,
I felt like
I felt like
before, yeah, I didn't, but I felt like before was harmful because we was arguing.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that it was better because we did not argue. And when you finally thought about it or was ready to talk about it, I was ready. I was like, okay, here we go. We're getting ready to go.
Right.
So that's all.
But that's some crazy stuff. I encourage anybody to self-reflect. Just like you have to take time to think about yourself, to think about how you can improve, because I don't want to stay in the same place. I don't want to continue to do the same things. I want to be able to teach our kids, and especially now, and I think that's one reason I went into self-reflection, because I was thinking about the new baby that's coming. I was thinking about Zuri. I'm like, what can I teach her different that I taught Kaylin? What can I do better? And then I just went to think about myself. I'm like, well, dang. I say, I've been doing this whole time, and I don't have to do this. And to some people, they may get it early. But for me, I get it late. I guess I'm slow. But
That's okay.
I'm black. that's not my I get that from somewhere else, y'all. But it's something that I had to learn, that I had to process, that I have to reflect on me, and I have to change things about me. And it wasn't about you doing stuff. You're saying that something needed to be done, and I didn't do it. It was just something I had to realize about myself, and I don't even know how we got there, but I hope that helps somebody.
We be all over the place, y'all.
Yes, we do. But it's just this good. This is what conversation do.
Yeah, and I feel like this is like real stuff like this happening in marriage. Yes, we talk about communication and love and commitment, but we don't talk about the itty bitty little things in between.
The stuff that causes the avalanche.
Yes, that little stuff in between. Like, why he ain't fix this for me? Why he ain't do... It's the little stuff in between.
Right.
On top of loving each other, staying faithful and communicating. And
see, and that's the thing. Like, you have to be able to try to understand the person. Like, I know certain traits that you have. I know some things that you do ain't going to change, because that's what makes you you. But if you evolve through it, if it's, I know Shelby, not like somebody, I was thinking about you the other day, right? Now, I didn't do it, but I was going to. I was like, I need to buy my wife something because she kind of down, right? And I know you like gifts. The first thing somebody said was, what you think they said? Buy her some
flowers.
I say no.
No.
I say my wife do not like flowers.
What I'm going to do with flowers? I can't do nothing with them. I can't wear it. I can't eat it. I don't want no flowers. You better not buy me no flowers now.
Oh, they're like, buy her some flowers. I say, nope. I say, my wife do not like flowers. I say, I remember that from the first time I wanted to buy her something. She do not like flowers. So, that's not going to change. That's you. So I know some things won't change, but being able to evolve and to understand where that person is going. What are some things that they're dealing with in their mind? That's just all conversation. And conversation is stimulating.
It is. Because if you just saying, hey to me, like, what you want?
Stimulate me.
That is not stimulating nothing but aggravation.
Stimulate me. Don't that sound dirty?
Yes, it does.
Stimulate me.
It sounds very dirty.
Let's get into this. This one ought to be good. They're unafraid of honesty. The truth can be